All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's the Bogan King of Mullets, MC Wormy.
And of course the Bogan Queen, DJ Lulu. And we are back with a great interview from one of our favourite little shops from down the road from us.
Oh, yeah.
The Hope Coffee Cafe. How you going, Veronica?
Good, thank you. I love you guys, the Bogan hosts from the Newcastle coast.
Oh, yeah.
You know it already.
Lovely to hear live in the coffee shop here. So, in Hope Coffee.
Yeah.
Of course, in Adamstown, we've got to say. So.
Yeah, well, it's my favourite place now, and I work here like 30 hours a week, and I have a lot of friendly people like you coming past every day, and it's just all smiles.
Yeah, well, why not? We like
You're serving the best thing, you know. That's why the smile.
Yeah, and
you're saving people's lives, you know.
Making their day for sure, and they come in and they're like disposed to have a happy conversation and a little chat.
Yeah.
And they leave, and they're really happy that we have a $4 coffee and don't charge any extra for the milks and caramel. I know we've chatted about it a few times because you guys get caramel.
Yeah,
now
you
you
actually
do.
introduced me to it, so like every time I'm like, "What are them, please?"
Well, what was it the other day? We got a coffee each, and you got the caramel one, but I ended up with yours. But it
You didn't
actually
even know.
it tasted really good, even though I'm not a caramel lover.
Yeah.
But it did. It made the coffee like superb. It was awesome.
Well, it is literally made with love as well. I have a little video on the Instagram, Hope Coffee Adamstown, where you put the caramel in first and then swirl in the food. So like when you are cooking anything, you can see it's like if you stir at certain times and you're applying the heat in certain ways, then it comes out with a much more beautiful flavour, like the melting of the sugar and stuff like that.
Yep.
It's definitely a thing.
Making my mouth water now.
I know. And actually you guys are a great example too, because I've got the toasties here. So we always make our toasties in advance so that you can grab them ready to go, and we just have one of each flavour generally ready to go, because I think speed is really important.
Yep.
But you guys are a fantastic example of promotional pricing, because Lulu came past one day at like 1:50 p.m. before I close at 2.
Yep.
And you had gotten some food from a servo,
Yep.
and I was going to chuck out the toasties at the end of the day, and I was like, well, here, I'll give this one to your hubby as well, and then you ended up buying like 2 a week or something like
Yeah,
that.
no, well, he got that one taste, I had that taste, and oh my god, you make those toasted sandwiches
Spot on.
Yeah.
on. They're so flavoursome, like
Thanks.
can't go past a good toasty,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
what better than just down the road?
Yeah, I'm a bit of a toasty fanatic.
with the coffee on the side, you know.
Well, they're actually pretty nutritious as well. They're whole foods anyway, like proper chicken, and it's like not processed or anything like that. So it's really good.
Yep. And not only that, I got a muffin this morning.
Mm,
Yeah,
did
that was made like awesomely. That tasted really good. So
Yeah.
I do recommend people get their asses along to Adamstown, Brunker Road, the little Hope coffee shop.
Yeah, corner of Brunker and Melville, so it's right down the end near Broadmeadow end and near all those playing fields and Merriweather High and that. So we've really got a lot of great markets. We're in
Yeah.
a fantastic spot.
It is certainly, and it's a great little shop too. You know, like you walk in and you feel pretty comfortable. You've got the seating out the front if you want.
out the front that make you feel so good.
Which kind of makes me think, where did the name Hope Coffee come about?
Oh, it's an extremely novel and innovative thing that I did, which was name it after myself. Hope is my last name.
Oh wow! There you go.
But there is actually a little bit more to it, in that my
what do
niece...
I always say? Hope the coffee shop's going to be open soon.
Oh, I haven't heard that since like year 3. Yeah.
We did see the sign before you did open up, and we're like, I hope it's going to open up soon.
That really has been the whole joke of my name, which is good. You could get called a lot worse. But there is more to it in that I had a niece who was having a bit of trouble, with the law and stuff like that, and it was really going either way, and she had really good work ethic, and I had hoped that she had wanted to work here as well. It's really hard to figure out who you can trust in a hospitality job, because in a single person unit like this, it's designed to have one person working here.
Yeah, exactly.
So if you find the perfect person who can work the perfect hours, geez, they need to be really trustworthy, obviously, to do with cash, but common sense and a good barista
Good
and everything.
social skills,
yeah, and you just have to get along like in a normal boss-employee relationship.
Yeah, that's definitely 100% the key to keeping a good business, happy business. And I know that growing up in the takeaway industry, that, you know, family-running businesses, man, can be pretty treacherous because 7 days a week and you're in your face, and then you've got your home life, and you need that repertoire to make a happy cafe. And it's what you've got here that we notice. You know, every time we come in, you're always happy, you're always good to have a chat with. And you know, it's hard to find in a coffee shop. Normally it's rush and get along, but you guys are happy to have a chat. So.
Well, and it helps a lot that we own it, obviously. So then, like this morning, somebody wanted a pot of tea. We've only been open for a couple of months. So we don't have pots yet. And I'm like, I'll just give you a free one. I just said I'll just give you another free one straight after, and you can do that.
I think we dropped in then. Like,
you swung past.
Of course, we got our first toasties.
We got the toasties, our muffin and coffee for the day. So
exactly.
We couldn't go past that this morning, definitely. But not only do you sell the coffee and the toasties, but you've got the beautiful muffins, you have the fresh fruit, you've got a couple of like awesome drinks that are on the side for the kids if they come in as well.
Well, and the fruit is an interesting one because that's what you'd call a loss-leading product where you don't make money on it, but we'll do more of the marketing soon when we have all the systems sorted. And one of the products, you know, I always want to have fruit because it's the only way to eat fruit as a pretty healthy person. It's just around and nothing else is around. And that's when you end up shoving it in your gob. It's often not what you feel like having. It just needs to be around. And then that doesn't get wasted either. If we don't sell it, then I just eat it. There's no problem. But
it's a win-win then.
That's right. So it's actually no waste, but it's available. And so then when we market to the cyclists and there's a gym up the road, we can safely say, hey, we got a $5 deal, which is the coffee and the fruit. It actually costs that amount to start with, but it still is an amazing deal.
Exactly.
Talking about amazing deals, what is your favourite coffee to go to?
I'm a caramel latte as well, with 1 sugar, yes.
Not like her.
Not like me, the cappuccino with the 4 sugars.
Well,
it's
so
large.
A lot of people started drinking flavours a long time ago because they couldn't count on it being delicious. So there are a lot of little tricks to make sure that, you know, it's not just the brand of coffee or, you know, any other one factor. It's everything combined that makes it delicious. Or not. And if you started, you know, my husband and I both did a lot of driving separately, and you get used to drinking a Macca's coffee, so you just get used to having caramel so that it doesn't taste like absolute. Censor my language.
I've been to some of those places where it just, it doesn't come.
Yes. And it's a little offensive as a coffee lover. You're like, oh, this could have been so great. And it's horrible.
No, I'm one of those persons that I literally go to nearly every different coffee shop to try out their coffee taste.
Well, but be aware as well, like that's what I was saying, it's not the coffee itself, it is a bit to do with
the customer service as well.
Well, how it was actually made, and it's no joke that it's how it hits you at the time.
Exactly, yes. I do enjoy watching someone make the cappuccino in front of me.
It is.
Smelling the fresh, like, you know, coffee being grinded in and
roasted. The guy doing the artwork. And as soon as it got served, the customer just stirred it straight in.
That's right.
And they're just like standing there, it's like, oh.
Yeah. Well, so that's the sort of thing where people asked me, oh, how are you going with your latte art? And I'm like, I do not care about latte art. For starters, we didn't have the outdoor dining for a little while, so that's the have here coffee. But I will do that when it comes to identifying the different coffees. I've got to remember, this one's a almond and this one's an oat, so I'll do the little, I don't know, one pattern in almonds, something.
If you ever make one and learn the art, feel free to make like a rude finger one for us.
Or a B logo or something.
And you know what? So these are the fun marketing ideas that would just come up anyway. We've got a high school right there. The kids will love that.
100%, I can see them doing it.
I think there's only the one design that I've ever learned, and that's the normal one where you're doing the circle, when you're doing the...
Yeah,
the normal one.
Well, they look nice anyway.
What are you doing?
But the original one that they teach you to begin with in the barista courses.
Well, we were actually saying, you were just saying before how nice it is to come in and actually just see the person. So your listeners won't be able to see, but they would be able to on your lovely Google reviews.
Oh, yes, definitely. definitely have heaps of photos of your beautiful little venue here.
This basically could not be physically smaller in that the site itself that we purchased was 21 square metres, right? So half of that is basically 10 square metres in the whole service area, including one fridge. There'll be more oven, cake, and obviously the coffee machine is your big kahuna. But her name is Julia.
Yep, she's awesome.
She's beautiful.
She's a beautiful looking beast.
Classic styling, yes. And very Italian looking, and people think that I'm Italian, so that's adds a bit of atmosphere.
We're uncomfortable walking and letting us know that.
We witnessed that.
Well, I made one for somebody today, and it was just so nice to have a little chat and to be physically making it in front of them, because then if you're in a takeaway coffee cup, you don't usually get that romance, right? Like we're sitting there and being able to
enjoy and hold it and
whereas people now run around so much, and I think it's a pretty Australian thing. A lot of people, other countries don't have a lot of takeaway coffee.
Yeah.
But the fact that you can see that it's so delicious in the first place, it's a nice thing.
Oh, it is.
Yeah, there's nothing like that first hit of coffee, when you're desperately craving it and you just get it on your tongue and you're, I'm talking about the coffee, all right?
So what, like, out of all your coffees, what is your best seller? Out of making different coffees, lattes.
I was going to say, other than me buying all the toasties, what is the best?
What is the best seller?
Oh, just a flat white, actually, a large flat white.
That's Primitive's favourite.
A friend named Primitive.
Yeah, that's the
sounds
boss.
like a character.
Prim Strims.
Yeah. Well,
he's on after you today, so.
Oh, great.
Yep.
Well, tell him I said hello and
come for a coffee.
Apparently likes flat white.
He's in the area, come for a coffee.
Yeah. So flat white is a particularly Australian thing because it's very similar to a cappuccino, except it doesn't have the froth up the top.
Froth, yeah.
And because we've got a lot of takeaway carbs, you don't want that to be a third froth because it will feel a third empty. So we've just gotten used to, you get more caffeine out of a flat white. And that's true. Yeah. And it's a good flavour and everything like that.
I actually don't know why. Like, I do love my flat white homemade coffees. But for some reason, the cappuccino just is always a winner with me.
Yeah.
I think it is.
I just like saying cappuccino. So.
It makes me feel like superior.
Sophisticated.
And the cup of tea. No?
I didn't realise a big part of it is the chocolate. Yeah, because your taste is a lot to do with your nose. Yeah. So you can actually smell it. So if you're sitting there having a cappuccino, and if people aren't big coffee drinkers or big coffee addicts, and they only meet up with somebody to take a cappuccino, Europeans say, and you're actually sitting there, it's kind of like you got the nice waft of. So you're laughing at me.
No, I just started to think of what kind of. Do you ever get the aggressive? I need a coffee. Can I? You haven't come across one of them.
I actually had a customer today who might have been the least nice customer that we've had so far, but it's only, I could tell she was already in a bad mood, and I'd won her over by the time I'd finished.
She'll be right next. You'll be right next time, mate.
No, so I'll get like that. Before Hope Coffee opened up, I was a little bit like that. I was always getting frustrated because, I need that coffee fix. I need that cappuccino fix. Yeah, and now I don't have to rush so far because I can just come down the road.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, actually, I'm glad you mentioned that because I was a bit of a Karen as well, impatient. But that's the thing, when you can't see the love, then you don't feel it, right? Yeah. But I made a comment on this, Neil Brennan, famous comedian, I love him. He was talking about mental health and stuff like that. And I made a comment that was on behalf of Hope Coffee Adamstown, but that people don't value the small interactions, because when you have a little bit of banter, you're actually acknowledging the intelligence and humanity in somebody else.
Yeah, that's true.
And the banter's good fun too.
Yeah, well, some people are inclined to, anyway, you guys and me, outgoing people, like you automatically know that, and probably from when you were young. But a lot of more shy people, I think a lot of the time they don't even notice if they hadn't talked to somebody for a few days, or a lot of lonely people, if they're just not used to having a lot of friends around, they don't go out, and sometimes as well people, just if you're being a good dad, middle-aged men can get really lonely. You're being a really good dad, you're going to work and whatever else, and you don't end up having a lot of time for certainly not flirty interactions or friendly social stuff, but a lot of time we have like enough chat to make a coffee. But if nobody else comes in, there can be 20-minute chat.
Yeah, we're actually talking about that a little earlier. How a coffee shop is kind of a community, really. Because that person that are coming every day for the chat, which we saw the other day. Oh, she's Italian, you know. Literally, as you just were telling us about that.
Yeah.
We walked in and said that. You know how we see the people, the communities that come here to have their daily coffee sitting out the front there, like us now. Every time we've got some cash, we're straight here to get a coffee. You know, like that's becoming a community. And exactly, look what happened here. Now we started this, and
it's great.
Coffee shops are a community. That's like.
And not only that, it is a social starter.
Yeah.
Like
Absolutely.
it does. It like coffee always starts up an awesome conversation between strangers.
Well, I noticed that's a whole other thing. Yes, I noticed from the start, like in the first week or two, though, that oh my gosh, this is a really important sort of public service because you don't call somebody necessarily and say when you're having a hard time.
Yeah.
But when you come in now, I've basically only known you for like a month or two.
Yeah.
And you come in, I can tell the look on your face. Right,
she's stressing it.
And you can tell,
which is
a little bit
when
stressed. yeah. And so then, you know, you mightn't have called somebody to say I'm having a bit of a hard time.
Yeah.
And a lot of people don't really want to complain or whatever. But if I say to you, look a little stressed, babe, like this, then you just be like, yes. And I've just given you permission to just go, bleh, just brain dump. And then it's better out than in. And
it's always,
it's a kind of a relief, you know.
Massive relief.
And then you give them a coffee at the end.
And I get money. I get money. Everything's fantastic.
No, well, look, all of our fans, where would they find you online, and how can they find you out in the world?
Well, in the obviously the normal social media bits, so starting with Google Maps, which is obviously a really important one these days. A lot of people find us early morning. Not many places are open from 6 a.m.
Most of you guys are. That's how I met the husband.
Well, it's because Adam and I love coffee. This is a big bloody difference.
And I am, like, if you guys were open earlier at the time that we actually do get up.
When I got to do those 3 a.m.
I was going to say, we don't really want to be serving people who have gone to sleep from the night before. That's not the vibe we're going for.
Like, because usually some mornings we get up at like around the 3-4 o'clock.
Got to catch the 4 a.m. train to Sydney to go work with the boss, Prim. That's why we got him on, so I've still got a job otherwise.
Oh, wow, no, that's great.
No,
but it's true. Are you getting the train that early to go and catch something?
Go down to Sydney and start.
I didn't even know it went that early, but that's fantastic. And I'm a big believer in that. We just got to figure out how we would actually do that as a household because it isn't a 7-Eleven. But that's exactly how people get used to servo coffee and everything, right?
Yes,
and you kind of end up going, oh, that'll do. And
but anyway, where are they finding you guys? Sorry.
So Google Maps is the main one, but then it's under Hope Coffee Adamstown on Instagram and Facebook.
And followers know me of my real name, Louise Dew. You can also find me on Google Reviews because I'm a good reviewer. So I've given these guys an awesome 5-star review.
It is.
And
if there's more than 5 stars, you get more than 5 stars.
Well, having multiple 5 stars.
We did have one of our fans ask if there was a menu that we could provide for them, but there isn't, unfortunately.
It's easy, the toasties and the coffees.
Just get your asses into the store, into the cafe.
Well, in terms of a menu, we proudly go snacks between $1 and $10, and there's actually that even those very substantial toasties you have, the club. You're a big fan of the club and the chicken. They don't have, they're $10 each, and they're even less in a deal.
But I'm telling you, they are bloody delicious.
Awesome. And we have a coffee and cake deal as well for $7, all different types.
Flat prices too. That's the best part about it.
Oh my God! Well, and then I've got the brain space left for the nice chat. That's right, because just doing trying to stop somebody else's, your next customer's order because you've got to give this person back 20 cents. It's dumb. It's just so a lot of people come in and pay with change, and I think they really like that. Like how you have no guilt if you can come in and pay from the change in your console.
Especially the break notes and shit.
Whereas gold $2 coins, everybody loves those. That's sweet. $4, yeah.
I was impatient with the kid in the poor bakery man trying to count his change out. So just give me the change. That's 5 cents.
So yes, we can find you on Google. We can also find you
Facebook.
Adamstown on Brunker
Yeah.
Road.
Yeah.
Can't miss it.
Can't
On the corner
miss
of
it.
Brunker and Melville.
Got the nice sign, Hope Coffee. We've got the big quotations on the blackboard out the front and on the side door entrances.
And importantly, it's 6 a.m. till 2 p.m. on weekdays and 8 a.m. till 3 p.m. on weekends.
Awesome. So
Yeah.
there we have it, and then we're going to have to leave it at that.
Well, we appreciate you coming on and having a chat with us and making time out of the busy... Live in the store too, mind you.
Well, and you guys are superstars, actually. I knew I liked you as people, but now I know what you like as pros.
We love doing what we do.
Undercover bogans. What do I say? Sometimes we're upper class bogans, but at the end of the
I
day,
was
we're
gonna say,
just
you're
bogans.
not undercover about your
We're
bogan.
the professionals and unprofessionalism.
Yeah.
All Australians love that culture. So.
Unprofessional,
We have a wonderful day, and have you all having a wonderful day out there, guys. And until next time, we'll see you next week. Oh no, we've got more interviews to come. What am I talking about?
Yeah, exactly.
Stay tuned because there's more people to come.
And we'll
There
see you
is.
at Hope Coffee, Adamstown.
Definitely will do. So.
I'm the Bogan King of Mullets.
And I'm the Bogan Queen, DJ Lulu.
And this is the Friday Fortnightly Show from the Lulu Wormy Show on Street Movement Radio.